The Todd Shapiro Show, Canada Laughs, SiriusXM 168.
Yeah, so we are the only licensed producer in Canada that has a cannabis-infused oil that's designed to be used to enhance pleasure and sexual health for women.
Foria. Oh, like euphoria.
Yeah.
Foria.
Yeah. So Foria started in California a few years ago, and they've been doing some amazing work in the U.S. Women have been sharing amazing stories and testimonials about experiencing orgasms for the first time, things like that. And we're lucky enough to carry it in our shop here in Canada.
It's fitting that we discuss it on International Women's Day because and from the medical side of things, I've known women who have endometriosis and pain, and Foria seems to do the trick.
And is that available right through tweedmainstreet.com?
Yep.
Foria. Okay. Yep. I got a gift idea for my...
It can only be for personal use under your own prescription.
Oh, sorry. I see. Okay. Sorry. So, I see. So,
buy your own for you.
I'll buy my own for me. I mean, my wife did get me flowers for Happy International Women's Day, but I'm not sure why, but she did. They're right here. I'm just being honest. Anyway, they got quiet in the room.
We love talking about flowers.
Well, I think it's because we know why, and you're just not letting everyone else know why.
I just think, I don't know why. It's awesome. I'm just very happy that she got me the flowers, and now I'll get flowers too. Okay,
Maybe we should flesh out some other topics.
Let's go into other topics. Let's go. I like that. Okay, you guys are having a big fashion show right here in Toronto. Tweed's putting on, what a neat concept. And it's Toronto Men's Fashion Week, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about this.
It's really cool. Yeah, we're going to be sponsoring Toronto Men's Fashion Week. We're going to have a whole, so the theme is tweed, the fabric of creativity. I actually didn't even realize that tweed was a fabric until it was a weed company. So yeah, it's a little bit of a play on words on tweed. And so we've got a bunch of designers that have made some interesting new pieces for this show along this theme of tweed as the fabric of creativity.
The fabric of creativity, I love it. And how many designers are involved in it?
We're talking about like 10 or 12 easily.
Yeah.
Good contingent of designers.
Yeah, totally.
It's going to be really fun.
The fashion show starts at 9 p.m. tomorrow, and we're actually going to give you a ticket to give away to your listeners.
I would love. We'll tweet away the one ticket or 2 tickets. What do we have?
Maybe we can do 2.
We didn't expect to negotiate on the air like this,
but really, it's an opportunity for us to connect with the creators and people that are really into the arts and culture, and it's an important event in Toronto. So we're pretty excited about it.
Whereabouts is the show?
It's at 1 Yonge Street, so it's like Yonge and Queens Quay.
Yonge and Queens Quay. Yep. Oh, that's great. And then 9 p.m. tomorrow. Are there any other tickets available?
Yeah, there's general admission tickets. Okay. So anyone who's interested in seeing us in action at 9 p.m. tomorrow can...
Is there a website to get the tickets? Do we know for people?
I think Toronto Men's Fashion Week,
Okay, so people can just Google Toronto Men's Fashion Week, look for the Tweed show at 9 p.m. at 1.
They're on the Instagrams, the interwebs,
they're everywhere.
Social medias. They've got all that covered.
And is it like, I'm surprised, Greenblatt, you're not modeling. What's up with that?
I was asked. I had to politely decline. I have another engagement. I'll be flying to Barcelona during the event. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on my way to the Cannabis conference, which is a major cannabis industry gathering in Barcelona every year, and you could say it's a smoke show. But the whole cannabis industry is going to be representing there, and I have the distinct privilege of being able to go on behalf of Canopy.
And how long has this event been going on for? It's so neat.
Years and years. Spain's such a cool place for cannabis. There's such a vibrant cannabis scene. You've got hundreds of social clubs where you've kind of got dispensaries and lounges going on in Toronto and Canada. Spain's taken this really interesting sort of nonprofit approach to bringing cannabis above ground. And the way they've done this is they incorporate sort of nonprofit cooperatives that grow on behalf of their members, so they can sort of keep the supply chain in a closed loop. And the members are able to go to these social clubs and buy cannabis and consume it on site. They can buy a whole different array of products, from flowers to oils to dabs and what have you. And it's fairly well tolerated. It's still like in a state of decriminalization and police tolerance. It's not really well regulated yet, but yeah, I mean, Spain is just a hotbed for cannabis activity. It's an awesome place to be.
Are there what countries have cannabis that's legal? I don't think I've ever asked that question
Federally,
before.
it's only Uruguay. And,
really?
And Canada will be the second to do it at the federal level. Otherwise, you have like varying degrees of medicalization or of decriminalization. I mean, like you talk about Amsterdam. People think it's legal in Amsterdam because you can just go into a shop and buy it, but in reality, it's only simple possession is decriminalized. So you can have, like, if the police catch you with a bit of weed, you're not going to get in trouble, and there's no charges relating to that. But the whole supply chain side of the coffee shops is completely unregulated and is not actually legal. It's just tolerated because the police have better things to do. So yeah, I mean, that's why it's so super exciting here. We're going to be the second country to do it.
It's like always continues to blow my mind how much closer we're getting to that. And and
smell it.
You can
Especially in this room.
You can. Well, we're all medically licensed.
We all have prescriptions. Yeah.
And actually, you know what's interesting? I got a great story for you guys.
I also didn't do my shirt laundry.
You did? Okay. I'll tell you something interesting. So I traveled recently to the Bahamas. I was hosting this big like cryptocurrency conference, and it was like wild. And when I traveled, though, it was hard for me to go because A, I have a wife and a kid, but B, I couldn't bring my CBD oil.
Yeah.
And I've really grown very fond of my CBD oil. It's the truth. It really helps me with my anxiety, especially in those types of situations where I got to be like around people and very successful business people, and I'm on stage with them. So like it just sort of allows me to kind of focus a little better. And it was for the first time like, geez, I really wish I could travel with this thing.
Yeah.
And obviously I knew I couldn't, even though on a private plane you probably could, because you're like, there's like walk in and I flew private and like you walk out. Who knows?
I've never flown on a private jet. Do you actually go through any security or anything like that?
Not really. Like a customs official comes on the plane when you land.
Right.
But everyone's on the up and up. So, like you wouldn't want to
You learn as you go.
You wouldn't want to. So I definitely didn't bring any, but I thought like, wouldn't it be great if we get to a point where you can? Is that like down the road? How long do you anticipate something like that happening, where you're flying country to country and you
country to country is a long way off. You have domestic flights in Canada, so like if you have a prescription, you can fly anywhere in Canada with it. And in fact, CATSA, which is like the agency that oversees all of the security guards at airports, they've made a new policy where like if they find medical marijuana, they don't call the police over to check the prescription. So it's become a little bit easier to travel domestically with it. And then interestingly, from what I understand, you can also fly between legal states in the U.S.
So you're going Colorado to California or something,
or even if you're flying from like L.A. to San Francisco, even within California. So you're starting to see. I believe you could fly from like L.A. to Denver, and it would be fine, just as long as you're not like you don't have some kind of like emergency landing or layover in Utah or whatever. I may have completely butchered my American geography right there.
Well, whatever. I mean, still, but in terms of like country to country, we're a long way off, which really is just demonstrates how advanced this Canadian system is.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting too. I mean, we can export, literally hundreds of kilograms of medical cannabis to Germany, but I don't believe it's actually legal for you as an individual to bring your prescribed cannabis over there. I think
so. You bring over plants to your facilities and subsidiaries in Germany under the Canopy Growth Corporation.
Yeah. So we export medical cannabis to Germany, and it's then distributed in pharmacies over there.
That's that'd be the best flight ever.
So really, I mean, we're playing a role in helping bring cannabis reform to the rest of the world.
Yeah, and it's like no NAFTA on that stuff. Like it's you're allowed.
Not yet.
Yeah. Who knows, right?
Apparently, there's some Israel has slowed down its efforts to export medical cannabis based on all of this. Based on threats from Trump or something.
No way. Yeah. A little leverage play, right?
Yeah.
I see. People got to get their marijuana.
Yeah.
So we got the Tweed Fashion Show, Toronto Men's Fashion Week. That's happening Friday night. You're going to Cannabis. You'll give us an update on Cannabis when you get home
for sure
in Barcelona. And isn't that interesting? They got a thing called Cannabis, but it's not even legal in that country.
It's decriminalized, tolerated, but it's not regulated or legalized yet. Yeah, but it's everywhere.
And what else is going on with your your everything that you guys do?
Just trying to stay awake and alive.
Are a lot of people signing up to Tweed Main Street? Are you noticing? Is there a lot more people?
Yeah, we pushed past 69,000 customers.
We're over
at the end of the year.
We're over 70,000 right now.
That's fantastic. And listen, we've even had some testimonials right here on the program. People calling in saying that it's helped them and stuff. And and I think it's like I get to share my experience very honestly and genuinely, and it's amazing. Like it's just. I tell you, like, it's actually really amazing for me because I get people of, whether they're millennials or like, very old people asking me about this day after day after day, and the openness about it. And that's the thing that shocks people, right? Is that you can be so open. I'm like, no. Your stigma's still there. You should be open about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to talk about this than maybe taking an Advil, like that's more chemically induced than what we're doing. No? Isn't that fair to say?
I mean, like Advil, aspirin, they come from natural sources, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's not the best analogy.
Okay, is that a bad... So where do those... Oh, you told me this, actually.
Yeah, like aspirin comes from willow bark.
You told me that.
Right?
So that's more of a natural source.
So, yeah, you could buy, like, willow bark and make a tea from it and get salicylic acid out of it, which is basically aspirin.
Oh, that's why it would be like an over-the-counter type of drug.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't need to nitpick on that.
No, that's a good one. But I'll tell you, man, CBDs, oils are where it's at.
I'm trying to get my mom on them.
Good, your mom. I'll call her right now. Good, let's call her in. Let's call her in there. Yeah, Mom, what's going on, Mrs. Greenblatt?
Mom, it's time.
Yeah,
it's time
you don't know what you're missing.
Come on.
Yeah, come on. And like, you know what? Honestly, too, because I took it last night for the first time in 7 days. And do I not look really well rested today, Bilal? How good do I look?
Better than I've seen you in 2 years. 3 years.
You're fired. How dare you? I felt like I looked really well rested today, though. I hadn't in a long time because I missed it. I wasn't sleeping well.
Your locks are shinier. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
my locks.
That's one of the
That's
effects.
just hairspray. Okay, that's just hairspray. That's what that is. Well, that's awesome, guys. I'm super grateful of you guys being here. And Shiga, you have anything you want to add?
Not really, other than, again, I think just happy International Women's Day.
Yeah,
it's like it's been a good one, I think, today. Everyone's talking about it, so
big shout out to all of the women at Canopy Growth. I mean, women keep Canopy Growth rolling. Unintended.
And but it is nice, so my wife is from Eastern Europe, and it's a big deal over there, like a real big deal. And it really wasn't the biggest North American holiday.
I think it comes back to socialism. My mom grew up in like socialist Yugoslavia, and really it was just this emphasis on gender equality. So for people from that part of the world, it's always kind of been a big deal. Like I would always buy flowers for my mom on March 8th, and so it's exciting to see it kind of like reach every sort of community now.
Yeah, it's really, I think it's a very important day to celebrate. And for guys who are kind of North American guys who might not be used to it, do yourselves a favor. Stop off, get some flowers on the way home, do something sweet, celebrate the lovely ladies in our lives. And I always say our rock's the stronger of the sexes, mentally and physically. And listen, they literally make the world go round.
I think women should rule the world.
Well,
I think so too.
It's kind of amazing.
They kind of do already.
Yeah. No, but I was reading a lot of different statistics today in terms of like how women they're inferiorly paid in the workforce, and like even Canada's only had a female prime minister for like 7 minutes or something, right? So I mean, if you think about all that kind of stuff, it's like it's asinine, and it's a shame actually.
Yeah.
And I think this younger generation, it's up to you all to make that difference and really prove that there's equality out there, not just talk about it.
Marijuana is a female flower. We wouldn't
explain that to me.
It's I mean, like the cannabis plant it's the female flower that produces all the goodness in cannabis. We cull the males. We scrap them. We take their pollen and we put it in a fridge and we kill the plants. That's the female flowers in cannabis produce everything of value in it. They produce the medicine. So that's what marijuana is.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense to me.
It's
because it's helping, calming. It makes perfect sense.
It's auspicious timing. Yeah, legalization of marijuana, up and coming women's rights. Women's rights taking the center stage. It's the timing is interesting.
And for you. Yeah,
and for you.
Huh? Yeah, we all get to enjoy it. Okay. All right. Well, that's
it has ripple effects.
It has. Yeah. It does. It's funny whenever it says Ripple, I think of cryptocurrency now, though. Because Ripple was a big coin that was like going.
I don't follow that. I see things like Dogecoin and I laugh, and that's my involvement in the cryptocurrencies.
No, but eventually blockchain will get to the cannabis space, right? To track it and to measure it and all that kind of stuff. So it's really interesting where that's all going too. Like technology meets the oldest sort of plant on like. I don't know. How do you... It's not the oldest plant, but...
I may have made this joke before, but we are considering changing our name to Tweed Blockchain.
It'll just spike.
Actually, we're launching Budcoin. I don't know if you...
Budcoin, dude. You should TM that.
There's actually a pot coin.
There's a pot coin.
There's actually a pot coin.
When was... I've never asked the history of cannabis. Sorry, I'm
in which context?
When was the plant... Like, what does it date back to?
Since the beginning of agriculture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cannabis is like the first. It really is like the basis of our economy. It was like the first commercial crop that we traded commercially. It was one of the first crops.
Wheat, just like wheat.
It was one of the first crops we grew for industrial use, right? Like we grew hemp for its fibers to make rope and stuff like that out of back in the day. And cannabis has co-evolved with us as we have evolved. It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
But would dinosaurs been eating on some cannabis?
Well, there's burial sites in Morocco.
It's possible.
Where you find remnants of cannabis
They unearthed like a shaman in Asia that had been buried since like 2700 BC or something like that. It goes back 5,000 years. 5,000 or 6,000 years is like the earliest record. And this was like an old shaman who was buried with bags of weed flowers. Like it wasn't just scraps. Like it was like a part of the medicinal arsenal for this, it was a skeleton when they dug him up, obviously, but he was buried with bags of weed, and it was like one of the earliest.
Drug deals gone wrong.
We think he was a shaman, but it could have been a gang thing. But no, it goes.
That's fascinating to me.
Yeah, and our endocannabinoid systems, like all vertebrates, have an endocannabinoid system. So they say that. That the cannabis plant and human beings have like a common ancestor in the sea squirt, which is like a very primitive kind of organism that used to live under the ocean that at some point split off into different species. One became all the plants that we know today, and the other line became humans and vertebrates and all of that kind of stuff. And that's why we have an endocannabinoid system,
which is receptors, essentially.
I probably just butchered that explanation. There are scientists.
Well, are you saying we're a marijuana plant?
We evolved from the.
I
think a lot of people make that logical leap that somehow we're meant to be constantly supplementing our bodies with cannabis, which is also a little bit exaggerating. But there's an interesting theory in medical cannabis that a deficiency in our endocannabinoid system underpins a lot of different medical pathologies, and they think IBS, like irritable bowel syndrome, migraines, epilepsy, some other things they believe may be caused by a deficiency in our own natural endocannabinoid system. Either our body doesn't make enough receptors for it, or our body doesn't make enough endogenous cannabinoid, right? Our bodies manufacture its own THC, for example, so it's thought that deficiencies in this system may be the cause for different ailments. Yeah,
and that's why they call him the Wizard. That's phenomenal. It's and who knew that humans really without cannabis are like fish out of water?
Yeah,
I believe in all that stuff, and I believe it because I'm going through it right now.
Totally.
That's the best. I
think CBD should be in the drinking water.
Instead of fluoride.
Well, I don't know. Maybe in addition to fluoride, because I don't like cavities either. But
okay, fair enough.
And I'm not about to go into that whole conspiracy thing about fluoride either. But yeah, I mean, why not?
It's just you would notice it because it doesn't mix.
There's got to be some kind. I've met people who there are a number of people working on making cannabinoids water soluble. So yeah, one day it'll just be like it'll be like a little drink mix packet that you just pour in your water.
Hey, I got an honest question for you guys. The syringe, right? Or what do they call that? A syringe?
Yeah.
It sounds so so much worse. But when you take your little 1 or 2 milliliters of the CBDs, which I do, and like, how do you ever clean that thing? Should I clean that thing?
You can take the plunger out and like, sort of run soap through it.
I just kind of leave it.
You can also contact Tweed's Main Street and
we can send you some new ones. But also make sure you don't get any water in the oil because you don't want to contaminate it. So you just want to.
Oh, I think I've done that. I might have gotten
make
some
your
water.
oil go rancid.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's good to know. That's really good to know.
Yeah.
I got to order more oil.
Yeah. Better make another order.
I got to get rid of the other one. So, well, listen, Adam Greenblatt, Shaggy Youngson, thank you so much. You guys are wonderful.
The Todd Shapiro Show. Canada Laughs. SiriusXM 168.